Hey everybody, I'm Markay. Look, how many of you are starting to trade but have just a small amount of money? Like that's kind of a problem when people want to get involved in the market. There's this perception out there that you have to have a lot of money. You know what? It's not true. So you could get started trading in the market with as little as I'd say 500 up to maybe a couple $1,000s. And it's a great way to get started small and start testing it out and learning. Now, one of the ways that you can trade and get involved in the market with this smaller account is by utilizing options. Now, let's face it, a lot of stocks nowadays have gotten pretty darn expensive. So there's high ticket price to get involved in a lot of stocks. Well, what the options market does is it allows you to get involved in the stock market, but with a smaller amount of money. So what I want to do is explain a call option to you. So it's a form of an option. Now, what a call option does is it gives you the right to buy the stock at a certain time, at a certain price within a certain period of time, right? So that's what a call option is. But let me explain it maybe in more of a real world example. So let's just say options are basically a lot like the housing market in a way. So let me go through this house example. Let's say there's a house that you see that you really want to buy, and maybe it's a couple $100,000, which also right now I don't know where you would buy that house for a couple $100,000, but let's just pretend. Okay, so you see a house that you love, but you need a little bit of time to get your financing in order. So you go to the owner of the house and you say, hey, I really want this house, but I got to get some stuff ready. I want to give you $2,000 and I'll give you this money if you sign a contract with me that you will not sell the house, that I have the right to buy the house within 30 days, right? So that's your contract with the owner. The owner agrees, they're good to go. The owner can't sell the house. He can't do anything with that house until that 30-day period is up. Now, if you, let me show you how this goes, because you have the right to buy the house in 30 days. If you get your financing together, you get to buy that house for $200,000. So essentially the owner made $200,002, right? All right, here's where it gets a little bit interesting. Let's just say you found out that they were going to build a garbage dump near this house. And all of a sudden now, this house that looked so exciting before, you don't want anything to do with anymore, right? You're done. So literally you just tell the owner, hey, thank you, but no thank you. The owner keeps the $2,000 and then you walk away and you kind of dodged a bullet. You didn't have to buy that $200,000 house that may have dropped in value because of this dump nearby, right? So that's kind of the first part of this. Now, let's say that let's say that the house, same house, $200,000, you gave $2,000 for the right to buy that house within a month. Well, maybe the scenario changes and now they're building a golf course right next to the house. So now you get this big boost in value on the house, right? The owner may want to hold on to the house. He may want to put it up for sale at a much higher price. But guess what? He can't because he's under contract with you. So you now have a couple choices. You can buy the house for $200,000. You keep the house at that $200,000. You could turn around and sell that house because maybe the value has gone up $50,000. Now you can turn around and sell it for $250,000. You've just pocketed an extra $50,000 cash, right? Quick turnaround on that house. Great. But here's another way this could go. What if you didn't want to fork over the $200,000? What if you just said, hey, I have the right to buy this house because of that $2,000 payment. I bet the right to buy this house for $200,000 is probably worth a lot, right? It's probably worth more than $2,000 now. So you could go back to the owner and you could say, hey, you know what? I decided I don't want the house, but now that there's going to be such value in the house, I could just buy it from you and then turn around and sell it. Or if you will give me $8,000 I will give up that contract. So if you give me $8,000, I'll close out the contract. You keep the house. We're good to go. So your $2,000 just turned into $8,000 and you didn't have to do anything and you never had to buy that house. So if that's making sense, it's like the stock market. What happens with options in the stock market, when you buy a call option, you have the right to buy a stock at a certain price within a certain period of time. So it's the same thing as that kind of that earnest money on the house we talked about. Now, if the stock goes, let's say the stock goes down in value, you know what happens is your option, your call option loses money. It becomes less expensive, right? Now, if the stock goes up in price, so let's say the stock is increased in price, your call option on that stock also increases in price. This is how people can go in and buy a call option on a stock. By the way, a call is a fraction of the price of a stock. So you have more leverage. You buy a call for a smaller amount of money than the stock. As the stock increases in value, so does your call option, which then in turn you can sell it for a higher value. So that, in a perfect world, is how the call option works on the stock. And this is how you can make money with options in the market. In another video, I talk about the put option, which is just the opposite of calls. Puts actually can make you money when stocks are going down. So check that video out and I'll see you next time. Happy trading.